The boar in front of us has already realized our purpose, but is still saying, let's make a move. Trap, impossible. No need to open a trap. The opponent's true face is the strongest. Just attacking from the front can sink me to the ground. In the face of low-level adventurers who can be slaughtered in an instant, the strategy is meaningless. So, this is vigorous style. The strongest member of my family wants to test me. Hey, Lord Bell. A shaky voice came from the Orby. Lily was also shaken. But she's still telling me. Count now is the best opportunity of a lifetime. Never let go. Even though it was a charity done by the enemy, he had to fly and hug him. If I miss this opportunity, I will be easily defeated. On the other hand, if Mr. Ottar can be defeated here, the path to victory will be greatly enlarged at once. I caught it. With his right hand, he grabbed the silver greatsword before his eyes. Firebolt. Then the left hand released the thunder of flames, which pierced the refined metal sword. In the next instant, the particles of white light accumulated in just his right hand spread towards the great sword. The flame that was supposed to spread was held back by the silver block, greedily increasing its power. Double charge. And the change and expansion of the storage range. The range expanded from the right hand that had been accumulating energy in advance to the great sword, and the corresponding pressure was immediately transmitted from the physical and mental strength, but there was nothing he could do now. The tone has not changed from a clock to a large clock tower. Until now, it is impossible for me to resolutely use limit release. This means that I have to stop accumulating ongoing energy and then accumulating energy again, and the physical and mental energy consumed before stopping will disappear. After defeating Mr. Ottar, I have to fight the tough warriors, so I can't consume anymore. I held the hilt of the sword with both hands and charged quickly, and I was less than a minute away from the maximum charge. Seriously, do you want to fight this? Although the opponent will not be defeated by ordinary methods, but the hero's wish, after charging maximum power. Putting aside short-term energy storage, the slash that increases power to the limit, no matter the type of enemy, is completely annihilating. By relying on this skill, Bel Cranel overcame the level difference several times. The goddess said so. This is the power of reversal, the hero's strike. Will this big blow be dealt by me to a living adventurer? I looked at the Werbor standing in front of me. The armor on his body turned out to be light. The left chest, gauntlet, forehead, etc. they look very heavy at first glance, but they only protect limited parts. Relying on this kind of defense, will he easily lose to the bar with the greatest power and lose his life to me? The enemy is the strongest adventurer in the city. No carelessness, no hesitation, not even foolish speculation. But even so, the hesitation that arose in my heart caused hesitation, making me wonder whether I should take this full swing. However, as if to sweep away my worries, Ottar began to sing. The mercy of the silver moon, the field of gold. I take orders here, this body is the warrior of war. The fierce boar, the king. The chant resounding everywhere made my eyes widen to the limit. Carrying the spirit of the goddess, go forward bravely dash, sang the short text. Although the spell was completed after only a few moments, it released fierce magic. Hildus Vini seemed to be the glow of twilight, converging on his sword. What? The glare first made me squint, and then I gasped. The weapon glowed and became a golden sword. Fierce magical light covered the surface of the great sword, just like the flame of the end. The glow was so blinding that it gave the illusion of a swollen blade, and it was even thought that the weapon was covered in the fur of a giant golden boar. The magical power is so high. Is it the same as hero's wish? No, this is pure super enhancement. This is what Master Finn said, Lord Ottar's magic. It is said that the golden glow of the adventurer who is also a LV7 has been broken. Seeing the dazzling golden light, Lily whispered shakily into the depths of the crystal. Doesn't care about the opponent's increase in power. Although it was somewhat vague, I guessed it after combining it with the information I heard from Lily in advance. Simply strengthen the strength. And precisely because of its simplicity, once combined with Mr. Ottar, who has an extremely powerful power, it becomes an unimaginable killer. Feeling cold sweat running down my skin, I completely gave up on my hesitation. The power contained in that golden sword is so extraordinary that it even made me make that decision. With the progress of accumulating power, like a beast whose bowstring is gradually tightened, I slowly established a stance. Holding the hilt of the great sword tightly with both hands, the body sank and lay on its side. As if looking in a mirror, Mr. Ottar adopted the same posture. One of the two swords given by the opponent, a pair of great swords. The weapons are in the same condition. There is no such thing as good or bad. So what will determine the winner is the pure destructive power that combines arm strength and magical power. White light and golden light. Moaning fire and brave light. The power leaked from the sword formed waves, flooding the surroundings, filling the amphitheater. Lily watched nervously. They must also be looking through the mirror. I clearly felt that all the people who were not fighting on the battlefield cast their eyes on us, holding the thick sword hilt tightly. Then, the moment arrived. 5 minutes. After reaching level 5, the extended charging time has passed and the bell ringing has reached its limit. Use all his strength. Resisting the great sword with the holy flame on his right shoulder, he rushed towards the strongest, who was in front of him. Mr. Ottar didn't move. He was so still that it was terrifying. He turned into a veritable rock, watching my attack head-on. Shaken, terrified, trembling. I shook them all, let out a flaming roar, and released Holy Flame Strike. Sacred Flame Slash. With all his heart. Bel Cranel, who rose to level 5, delivered without a doubt the strongest blow. In the face of this certain kill, the boar man with his great sword roared. He released an incredible, strange power. The golden strike descended and collided with the holy fire strike. Then there was a huge impact, flashes and bangs. The antagonism lasted only a few moments. I just thought that the burning holy fire suppressed the gold by the light gem. Each other's great swords reached their limit almost at the same time, and everything above the hilt was broken, blowing me and Mr. Ottar back. I swept across the huge stage with the impulse to burst, and my back hit the marble wall. The place where the stone wall was hit from the back was crushed, and the air was forced out of the lungs, and the theater actually shook and screamed. There were cracks in the walls and auditorium, and the stone slabs were raising dust. I don't know if it's an illusion, all the urban relics, all the sounds disappear. It was as if the tough adventurers and warriors stopped their movements and held their breath because of the collision of our blow. The impact made my hands shake and I raised my head. Deep in the dust. Ahead of the spreading smoke. Breathing shakily, I looked at him somewhat pleadingly. Then the shadow appeared. The two phases cancel each other out. The voice was low and short. The man stayed there. His excessively thick feet drew 2 lines on the stone-paved stage, and he still maintained the posture of hitting the wall behind him. Mr. Ottar lifted his enormous back from the collapsed stone wall, and slowly looked up. No. Considering the level, your strike is stronger than mine. Pure praise. The rusty eyes narrowed, admiring the enemy's magic. Although I received compliments, my face turned pale. Detour? Neutralize? Hero's wish? This move is really good, but with all my strength, I failed to seize this first and last good opportunity, and I failed to defeat the strongest. The body burned by the sacred fire spat out black smoke, but the warrior slowly advanced without feeling the slightest damage. The promise is just a scam. He threw away the hilt of the great sword that had become a miserable wreck and pulled out the unbelievable, black, great sword from behind. The crystal embedded in the gauntlet screamed something. It must be saying run away, hurry up. However, I, who was firmly in control of my shaking body, already understood one thing. As long as you turn your back on him, you will be killed. Escape is not permitted. I can only fight with the strongest here until the end of my life. From now on, it's a simple fight. Suddenly I realized that this amphitheater had become a hunting ground for cruel boars.